thing right now. And man, every time we about to do a podcast, bro, I always say, bro, I need to get a haircut, dog. Every
Yeah, I've
fucking
been
time,
my
bro.
shit's long as fuck right now.
Look at it. Look how long this beard is, dog.
Oh,
Look
I
at
just
this.
trim my beard down. I usually
See,
don't get that touch when I go to the barber.
fucking nah. That shit satisfying when you go to the barber get your beard shaved. All right. Whew. What's up, y'all? This is the Let's Be Real podcast, and today we are going to be talking about transgenders in sports. Do we think it's fair? Um, and of course, when most people think about transgenders in sports, it's normally about men going into women's sports, not women going into men's sports. But we can talk about how each one of those plays a role into it. Um, I for one am against the shit. Like, bro. I thought it was be clear as day as to why people are against it, but people are like, you know, be how you feel and whatnot. Listen, I understand how y'all feel. I understand that you want to be what you want to be. I watch a lot of Disney movies. I get it, but when it comes to sports, all right, you can say the men smelling bee. All right, you could say the female spelling bee. You could say I want to compete in what's the thing called with the foosball? Is that it? Foosball, when they got the little soccer balls and you do the thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's foosball, right? You can do that. But when it comes to actual physical activity, in which case one person has to either completely outperform another, then you're barking up the wrong tree when it comes to this whole equality. I'm just saying there's a reason why sports are split apart together. Okay, there's a fucking reason why you just can't be in the same sport. Men and women can't be in the same sport. Other than things like Quidditch, and even that they have rules, right? There's a limit to how many women can be on your team. Like there's a minimum requirement in Quidditch. I believe it's two. There should be two women at all times on the field. Uh, and they don't say that about men. They don't say two men need to be on the field. You know why? Because they know if teams could and would, they would put all men on the field. So, but because it's a physical activity, so for me, I'm against it. Honestly, I feel like if anything, you just make up your own league, your own part of it. You don't even be part of men's or the women's side. Just be a transgender league. That way, everything is fair. Because that's the whole point of sports is to be fair. Shit, when I was in the NCAA, bro, when I was doing college track, you know what the rule was? Did you ever do anything professional? Basically, did you ever get paid to do some shit? You know why? Because they want to make sure it's fair. Right? That's all it is.
I mean, once again, I always go by the thing, sort of like the rule is, as long as nobody's getting hurt, I don't care what you do. But in this case, not in all of them, but a lot of them, like people are gonna get like hurt because it's not a fair matchup. So like this honestly comes down to like somewhat people's feelings about, oh, they are a real woman, they are a real man, and it's like, yes, you should treat them as a person, 100%. But like when we break it down once again, all the way back down to basic biology, generally, men are stronger than women. That is because millions of years ago, it's like we did all the hunting, the fighting. Just what happened. It's how it was. So people would say like, oh, well, no, it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, it does matter. Testosterone is made
Yep.
for muscle and power,
Yep.
which is why men generally have a lot more than women do.
Yes.
It's just how we're made.
Yep.
So, like for instance, people always say like, "Oh, they can do anything a man can do." I'm like, to some degree, yes, but there's a limit on that. So, for instance, Serena Williams, like the best female tennis players ever in history, was on a talk show. And they're like, "Oh, well, you could just play in men's leagues," and she was like, Nah, I'm not trying to have any of that because as good as she is, she knows there is a distinct difference between their two levels of sports.
Yep.
Like, regardless of how good she is,
Yeah. No. No. No lie. I believe she did face a male in the sport and got dominated. And turns out, I think he was ranked above 500. I mean,
mm,
100. Uh, Basically, it shows you the disparity in the distance between the two, where the number one women's tennis player of all time. Number one, right in prime, lost to a guy who wasn't even good enough to crack the 100s of men's. That should tell you a lot. That the most physically dominant woman, still couldn't beat a man that was ranked above 100. Right.
And like, don't get me wrong. Like Ronda Rousey could beat the shit out of me, no problem. Even me in my prime, I would get my ass whooped over and over again. But if you would have put her against a top tier male UFC fighter, nah, that's gonna be game. And there are like some trans athletes in the UFC that like are in the women's league, and they generally are dominating. And it's just the fact that they are stronger. Testosterone, it does that. Now, sure, some of them they're on those pills that like suppress it,
like blockers and stuff.
yeah,
like that.
blockers. But I mean, it's kind of late. Like like don't get me wrong. Like if you took like a baby and started it from there on the suppressors, and they grew up, that's different. But it's like nah, their body's already fully developed.
Yep.
They're already trained, so you're not really stopping. Like you're just pressing the testosterone, but it's too late. Their body's already at that point.
Yep.
So I mean, they
It
don't really do much.
it just comes down to the fact that it's been I'm 25 now, and it's actually been a discussion since I was in high school. So around 10th grade, so I was 16 at the time. So that's almost 10 years. The biggest thing that comes from it is the fact that some, not all, but some, feel that, and I remember South Park did an episode on this.
Oh, a strong woman.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is a male would, be basically bottom of the barrel, right? And get tired of losing so much that they will then try to say that they're transgender, in which case they can then dominate the women's side of the sports. My biggest issue isn't what's going to happen to them specifically. My biggest issue is the opportunity difference, right? For those in track and field, for example, there was this case in Connecticut about two specific male women transgender. Is that what's called? Trans female, right? Like when you transition to female.
Yeah.
All right. So when you transition to a female, right? So it's a male transition to a female. And the biggest thing about it was that this girl was in Connecticut. She competed in track and field and things like that. She was one of the top ranked runners, and she has to compete at a state level, everything like that. These two trans females, right, then enter her league. Mind you, I think one of them actually was racing the men just the year before, right, and dominated. Like it's not even, and the worst part is it's not even a question of who's about to be first and second. Right, that's not even a question. When it came straight down to the sprints, which is what they often, when it comes to men's sports, that's the real disparity is the sprinting, right, portion. They do not. How do I say it? It's just not fair. It's just not fair. And what pissed me off so much is in the interview they said, if anything, it should make you work harder. I'm sitting here like, motherfucker. Your ass didn't have to work harder. and the news and etc. try to make it okay and say, oh, but everybody always has different fairness and things. Some people are just taller. Some people have coaching year round. And it's like, that's not the point, right? That's not the point at all. For example, when I used to run, right, I had to work harder than, of course, one of the other runners, right? Because like my boy Bless at the time was probably one of the fastest kids in fucking Boston, right? And I know for a fact, whenever we raced, and same with my boy Artie, whenever we raced, it's either two things. Either I'm here and he's here, or I'm here and he's over here, right? I know for a fact I'm not going to catch up to him. But what they don't show you is that they worked harder when it came to sprinting, right? They worked harder when it came to sprinting. They mastered their form and stuff like that. That's something I'm able to catch up to because I'm also a male. Now, right? If you would have put me, I'm gonna just put it in perspective. My time in the 100, I believe, fastest time was 12 flat. Right. I wasn't a sprinter. I was a 55-meter dash. You know what I mean? Shit, 7 seconds. That's me. Right. But in the 100-meter, 12 seconds flat. I was ranked probably 15th in the city. Right. 15th, and that's public school. Right. That 12 seconds would have got me first place in women's and also in the state level. So imagine if I decided the next year, yeah, I don't feel like doing this. I'm gonna go to the girls' side, right? You can't stop me. You can't stop me because there ain't no protocols when it comes to what I identify as, right? If I say if I say fuck this, I'm gonna be female now. You can't tell me no because then I could accuse you of being transphobic, right? And again, it's not to all those out there. There are genuine transitioners, right? But there are people that do try to take advantage of the system, right? If you know for a fact that you transitioning into some other to the other sport, right, is gonna put you at an extreme advantage, right? It's not something that you just don't think about, right? Everybody knows it, even yourself. You know it. It's like I'm ranked 10th for males. Watch me be ranked number one for females. Like it's not even a question. It's not, right? But again, it
Discord.
it's still there's still actually genuine people transitioning, and but I still feel like for especially for the females because you don't see anybody complain about a female transitioning into a male and then going into the male sport into the male sport because of the fact that they come at a disadvantage, right? Which means if they were to do great in that sport, bro, they getting pop and circumstance. Like we throwing parades and shit. And I would say kudos, right? I'll be at that parade for you. Like no bullshit, right? Because you're at a disadvantage, right? I know you want to talk about this, Jared, about the UFC fighter, but you're at a disadvantage when it comes to sports. That's why nobody complains about females transitioning to males going into male sports. It's always where the advantage comes from.
But I forget the UFC fighter's name. But all I know is she is dominating her fights when it comes down to it, just because she's just stronger than them. Like there's nothing they can do about it. Like there's also I brought it up too. Her name is Hannah Mouncey. She is an Australian professional handball player. Now on the field, she stands out like a sore thumb because she's huge compared to everyone else and dominates, shoving them out the way, pushing through everybody. Like, oh, she's amazing. I'm like, no, that's not the issue. Like, she's just bigger and stronger than them. Like, there's nothing they can do about that. Like, it's not fair. It's not. And there's nothing they can do. Sure, they can go to the gym. They can try and put in more work. But, like, at the end of the day, she just has the innate advantage over them no matter what they do. And if people are still defending it, I ask you this. If LeBron James wanted to transition and go to the WNBA, you can't tell me that he would not absolutely dominate with whatever team he was on and be like, oh no, that's fair. No, it would not be fair. It's like it would be a slaughter. He'd be like breaking records. Oh, he puts up 80 points. Oh my god, I wonder why. Like he's blowing through the defense and dunking on people. Damn. Like, like it would be boring. People would be mad as fuck. Like it would be one. First of all, it's just insulting to all the WNBA players. First of all, and they just have to deal with that and take it like you can't say anything, otherwise they'll be considered transphobic. It's like nah, there's a reason why it's an issue. It would not be fair. It would not be fun to watch. So it's like we're like how far like how far do you really want to go? It's like you want equality, but it's like that's not equal. It's not.
Devon says, and I quote, plus WNBA don't make no money compared to the NBA, so no one would want to do that. Facts. But All right. Let's put this in example. Let's put this. Well, actually, first I'm gonna do a real life what happened, and then I'm gonna do an example. So, the UFC fighter again, I forgot the name as well. Uh, they ended up bashing the skull in of their opponent.
Oh damn.
Right. Ended up bashing the skull in. Oh my god. And it wasn't because of training. It wasn't because of anything like that. It was because that was a full grown male transitioning into a female. So I mean, think of it as like think of it as listen, don't laugh. Think of it as an RPG game where you hit your max level cap, and then it says, "Would you like to transition? Would you like to go to the next class?" And then all your stats stay with you. Like, for all my gamers out there, you know what I'm talking about. When you go from swordsman to assassin, Fire Emblem type shit, all your stats come with you, right? But you just start all over from level 1 again. But now that level 1 has the same stats as a level 20. That's how it was for that UFC fighter, right? Like that is legit how it was. And again, it brought up the discussion like, should this be allowed? I don't see any reason to fucking support it. I just don't, right? I forgot who said it. But basically they said, if let's all, somebody was supporting it, and they said, let's just get rid of gender sports in general. Like, let's just all make everything one gender. And then um, the person who was rebuttaling it said, then you will not see women's sports at all. Like, you just won't see it anymore. Basketball team, first 15 spots goes to the best 15 people, all guys. Football, all guys. Swimmers, probably some female. I give you swimming, all right? Because I can swim, but I can't swim like Michael Phelps, all right? There's probably somebody, probably like, if there's like 20 people in swimming, I would say about 3 of them would be women.
Yeah, but swimming I feel like it's more balanced though. That's more like raw talent
Yeah.
and like form and like that. That's different.
Because
compared to the other
there's this
sports.
blind girl on TikTok. She's a record holder and she's blind. Like, that shit's crazy. Um, Devon says, only thing I'd watch is women playing football. You see them shorts? Now, if a man joins, I cry. Hey, he's out of pocket. I mean, honestly, I know. Here's the thing, and we're not even saying like women can't play the sport or anything like that. We're just not, right. But again, there's a reason why uh, we keep them separated, right? I know women who can tackle like a man, right? They whoop your ass, not my ass though, but they'll whoop your ass if you was like my older sister or some shit. Right? Actually, no. Like, put that in perspective. All my older sisters can fuck up anybody, in my opinion, right? I can fuck all of them up though. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I see my older sisters in a fight, I know for a fact they're gonna handle themselves. If I see my older sisters in a fight and a man comes up, I know for a fact I may have to be there because I know for a fact that dude one punch will knock them the square out, and it's not even gonna be close. You get me? Like, if you put the weakest man and the weakest woman together, the difference between the two would be immense. It'll be a whole different human being in regards to stats. I forgot who said it, um, but basically, if you put the male sprinters of the Olympics, right, not even the first place winners, the last place losers, right, and you put them against the first place women's, there's still that big of a gap on the Olympic level. Right? That means the best of the best. That means the best women's, best men. The last man is still better than the best woman. That is ridiculous. And you think that would be fair to have it as a team? Bro, and then this is why I say opportunity was the biggest thing, is scholarships. Spots on rosters, right? Bro, when you're in high school and you're in sports and everything, it's a competition between, of course, how you're playing the sport, and just competition of how to get to the next level, right? Colleges and all only have so many spots on a roster, right? So if you need to go to states, You got to make sure you get the states. If you need to go to this college, you got to make sure that scout is impressed by you, right? Scouts are going to look at two things: time, because that's how, like with track and field, it's time, right? And then it's what place did you come in, right? Ain't no way they're gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker did a 1 minute 400, which is pretty ass in the collegiate level, but you did a 1 minute 400, but he came in last. Like it's just one of those things where you miss out on opportunity because the two people that were in front of you, right? Your medals, bronze. You don't want to say no bronze medal, right? And then you're capped at how hard you have to work. You're capped because of the body you were born in, right? Like compared to what they were born in. They had about 13, 14 years of testosterone already saved up in their body. That shit was already transitioning, right? That female, no, she had estrogen. She had estrogen. She ain't had no testosterone. So then what ends up being the factor is that built up testosterone over the last couple of years. That's the difference maker, right? That's all I'm saying. Shit, my mom, and this is how you know it's crazy. My mom was, I believe, about 40, right, when she came to the States a couple of years ago. She was about 40. She raised every kid in the neighborhood and beat their ass, right? And she's true Caribbean, so she was barefoot and everything, like running on sidewalks. She like we was down the street, ready set go. We thought we was the shit. She's like, you ain't gonna beat me, and whoop her ass, right? Not even a month later of us running straight, she could not beat us anymore. She just couldn't. And that was a woman who had 30 something years on us, right? Like that's all it comes down to. Stefan says all you gotta do is have the male bench warmers versus the top pro female team to close the debate. Bro, put the top 10. Put 20. Put the top ranked 20th high school in the country, and put them against the number one ranked WNBA. Bet money you're gonna see a difference. And it's not against the WNBA. Like they're top ranked in their shit. Like you gotta give people respect for being the top in their shit, right? But it's an analogy I always use. I say a baby will still crush the strongest ant in the world, right? Because there's worlds, there's different levels to this shit, right? You could be the strongest ant in the world. I don't know what the strongest ant could be. A Hercules ant. I don't know what it's called, right? A baby walking, crawling, that motherfucking kneecap go on you. Now you're dead. Not strongest ant just lost to the weakest human. Like that's all it is. That's just all it is. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But if I make that baby, then go, if the world worked that way, then I could transition that baby into an ant, and they could go gather food, and whoever gathers the most food gets to live.
Baby gonna win.
Baby gonna win.
You're gonna get that food.
That motherfucker gonna get the food. He gonna pick up so many plates of grass and then just and then just show up. Here you go, and now he gets to like no, bro. And people try to say it's a touchy subject. It's not. It's not. It's clear as day. It's not even controversial. Like it's just clear as day why it's an issue. Ah man.
Like actually, we can kind of use like sort of like one of the body positivity thing where people are like, oh well, like everyone is different, so like therefore there's different levels of health depending on like your body type and all that. And I'm like, that's true. But in the same way, that's the difference between men and women. So I'm 6'4", right? If you get a 6'4" woman and you put us on the same workout routine, same diet every day, say for a year, we will turn out very different.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm a male and she's a female. We're built different. It's how we are. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just how it is.
Sheesh.
A tiger will kill your ass no matter what, like 10 out of 10 times. But if a male tiger will slaughter the shit out of you. Female tiger will still kill you, but you still have maybe maybe a 5% more chance against the female tiger, just because the male tiger is still bigger and has more muscle.
Yep.
Like that's how a lot of things in nature are. The male is always bigger than the female because the males are always doing all the fighting for their territory and females.
Except in lions. Lions
different. Well, actually, no. The male lion's still bigger, but like every time he fucks up the female, there's like 9 females, and they just beat his ass.
True,
But
true.
they jump his ass.
No, I was gonna say because for the lions, even though the male's bigger, the female's the hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
All he does is lay on
male,
his ass,
yeah, male lions are spoiled.
and then find another male every like 3 months.
But to
That's
be
it.
fair, male lions are raped every day. Honestly, like they actually are. Like they're forced to have sex with the female. It's not even close.
Oh, that shit's hilarious, bro.
It's not even close. And hyenas are a matriarchy. So the hyenas,
female's bigger.
the female.
Well, she has a lot of testosterone, actually.
Yep. The female is bigger, stronger, and has a bigger dick than the female does.
Well, it's not really. It's a pseudo penis. Technically, it's an enlarged clitoris. Is the actual term, but yeah, I'd say air quotes.
It's a dick. It's a dick that opens up. Oh my god! But no, but that's all it comes down to is just knowing the fact that there's a clear difference in between them. Like all right. Let me give you a recent event. A female was I think on her college football team, right? She made it to her college football team. She was the kicker, right? She had probably one of the worst kicks I've ever seen. Because of that kick, she was voted a player of the month, I believe. Right, and players of the month and things like that. Those are accolades to athletes. Those are accomplishments. And another male who probably averaged about 100 yards that week, that month, that week. I'm gonna say that week. Probably averaged 100 yards that week. He doesn't get that accolade because she got that kick and accomplished nothing because the team lost. I think like 2-47, some shit like that. Yeah, the team was it was bad. So you can't like again. It doesn't like I don't mind it. I do not mind if you're transitioning and you want to play a sport on a different level field, right? I don't mind that. But you should at least acknowledge that there is a difference in regards to the productivity that you are capable of versus what they are capable of. And because of that difference, not because of your body type, but because how much chemicals, I would say, have been in your body since you were a youngin', since you were out the womb, right? How much testosterone, right? When you grew up, as you grew up, guess what? Your voice went from this to this. You went from Devin to Devon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it was. And then you transitioned later, right? Like, you this is not a controversial topic. That's all I'm saying. It is as clear as day why the genders are separated by their sport. All right. Again, if you are a female transition to a male and you decide to play football and you do well, everybody and mama is going to congratulate you. I will congratulate you. I will put up a 20-page essay on Facebook saying why you the shit. Right? I will do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're somebody built like me and you playing WNBA basketball, right? And you averaging 50 and 60, right? Mind you, I'm only 6 foot, right? There are women in the WNBA who are
like 6'4", stuff like that.
6'4", you know what I'm saying?
I think some Colin must do, but
no, but here's the thing. I bet money I'm stronger. You know what I'm saying? And that's just off rip. Let's see. Stefan said, a wise man once said, I'm every man, I'm every woman, it's all in me. Interesting. Let's see. And he says, what about sports that are already co-gender? What sports do you have in mind?
Dodgeball. Does that count? Oh no,
I don't know if dodgeball.
I love dodgeball. That's a fun ass sport.
No, fuck that, bro. I used to get in trouble for beaming motherfuckers in the head, especially when
no headshots, bro. What
you
mean?
I don't give a shit. I I don't give a shit, bro. You know it was a nice one too, cause his thing, I ain't throw like this. I ain't know. I did the whoom. You know when you
And you
whoom,
would hear that joint whistling through the air too.
and all you hear is like that's
Some of
all
those
you
down.
heard. And the worst part is, bro, and I still remember this to this day. I hit a dude in the head. This man like, yo, what the fuck, bro? And he walks off. I'm out, he out, but you know what I'm saying? I hit a female in the head, and she cried like ridiculously. Hold on. So co-ed sports that she has: track and field, softball, and some football teams.
I mean, they're all co-ed, but like, are
No,
they?
no, they're not. They're
No,
not.
there are co-ed teams, but they're not like
Oh,
official.
no. So, all right. For example, track and field, if co-ed, right? They will still separate men and women. They will still have a men's race and women's race, men's 100, women's 100. They will still do that, right? You guys could be all part of one big roster, but the race commission is gonna just separate you guys. And then the worst part is when they separate. If they don't separate you guys, what ends up happening is you see this, and I've seen it before. All the males, all the females, right? I did have one female though on my team. She was, I think, faster than a good chunk of the dudes in Boston. If she wanted to go to the Olympics, she could have, but I don't know how she's doing now. But she was, if I would say, out of a roster of 20 sprinters in the same school, she was probably 14th, 15th, I would say. Somewhere along those lines. And he says, I got hit in the head in dodgeball when we played with rubber kickballs. Yep. I do it back at the dude who threw it. Oh, good shit. You still out, though. But.
Like, all right,
good shit. You out, though, yeah. Nah.
You can smell them too, though. That was the other thing.
Oh, fuck yeah. But no, like, again, that's all it is. All right, Annie. If me and you were to play football, right? Mind you, I have not played sports in general in about 3 years now. If me and you were to play football, do you think you could tackle me? And it doesn't have to be like long. No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't even have. I know she's gonna say something about breathing. I know. It doesn't have to be a long thing. It could be. So we call it the pit, right? We're basically, I think the other team they call it Oklahoma, where you have a set section of where you can go, and my only goal is to get past you, while your goal is to stop me. Hold on, question, Toaster. Damn, women in esports is interesting. Do you think that women traditionally haven't been in esports because of the environment or because of physical traits? I think it's environment. Let me tell you something about esports when it comes to women. People automatically think they're bad because they're women, and that's actually one of the worst fucking things that you can do. There's probably, in my opinion, there's just so many underrated female esports players. It may just be the reaction timing that they're thinking about, but or they might see more bad female players than they do good female players. I think Twitch and streaming has a lot to do with it because of the notion that a female has to be attractive to be a good Twitch streamer, right? So they could be bad at the game and still have 20, 30K followers, right? So all their followers are going to see is bad play and assume something, right? Females do get a bad rep in that. I think that is where there's equal level playing. There's an equal playing field because that's not based off of your gender. That's just based off of how you move your mouse and how you.
Skill.
Yeah, that's all it is. I think esports is probably the most equal in regards to production there is. Again, but I also do think that, and this is just hypothetical. This probably not true, but men, we zone out. We zone the fuck out, right? Women can think about so many things at the same time. Anything that happens on our computer screen, we have paid attention to, right? We pay attention to. Like League of Legends, for example, we're looking at Like if I'm League of Legends and I'm looking at Jared, right? I'm looking at Jared. Then I'm looking at this cube right here. Then I'm looking at somebody open this door. Oh, that's a hanger. And then I'm looking at that corner like there's a spider. Like I'm noticing
Ain't
all
no
of that.
spider in my room.
I know, but I'm saying I'm noticing all of that in one computer screen. Wow. But that's because men we tend to focus on one thing and then zone out everything else, right? So even and you the way you can see it too, is that you would see um, male streamers get extremely angry, start bashing their shit, and you know why? Because they suddenly just got brought out of that focus because of something bad, right? I'm focused. I died. What the fuck? Like, yeah. And it'll be sudden. It's never like, I die, and it's like, you sit back, and then you start. No, it's literally in the moment. Cut. Boom. I'm angry now. Like that's just how it is. Let's see. Andy said I used to box my uncle, but I had a kid and shit. Like my organs have been.
We all tilt. Tilt's a part of video games.
Speaking of, the most viewed girl on Twitch at this exact moment is currently sitting in a blow up kiddie pool. Feels great to see girls being successful in their own ways. Okay, but okay. I feel like women can do it too, though. Oh no, women can do it for sure, right? I mean, women can do it for sure. I'm not even denying that. That's why I said like it's equal playing ground in esports. Physical sports, not equal playing ground. Esports,
Equal.
equal. That's all it is. Now, if somebody and you know like if somebody was like, oh, I'm transgender, I'm a female, a male coming into female, and you join a female's team, nobody's gonna have an issue with that because there is no advantage to that. Like none. There's just no hell. If anything, I remember when I got into work. When I first got hired, I was the only male besides one other male, but I was the only male at the front. So they felt I worked. Hey, appreciate it. So I was the only male out into the front, right? And what ended up happening was that they felt my chemistry with the females was better because of the fact that I was not one. Which means they don't have to all look at me as the same. And since they don't look at me the same, they treat me different, right? And adjust to who I am, rather than every female just looking at each other and thinking the same thing. And he said, did you hear about the one coach who was the reason he kept... Did you hear what the one coach said was the reason he kept girls off the team for so long? I don't remember the team or the game, but it was esports. They said it was too distracting for the players to have a female on the team. Thoughts? You want to tackle that one real quick, and then I got you after.
I mean, it kind of depends on the like how dedicated you are to your craft. Like that's what I would look at it as. It's like if you dare to play like in League of Legends, if you're there to be one of the best League of Legends players of all time, you don't care about like having a female on the team. But like if you're just someone who's just like, oh damn, hey, how you doing? It's like you're clearly not in it. You're clearly not in it to win because you can't be getting distracted that easily. But I mean, it shouldn't like in that situation. It shouldn't matter if you're there for the team to play. It should not matter. Like it's really that simple for me.
Okay, that's bad, but I don't blame him. If you get what I'm saying. All right, so if there's one thing I've learned, especially studying with neurology and all, is that people are more prone to, of course, date who they have more in common with, and you will often find that in your workplace. All right. When you find that in your workplace, even gaming. Hey Momo, appreciate the follow. How you doing? When you find that in your workplace, then what ends up happening is you start to build an attraction to this person, not primarily because they look good, right? But because you guys have this in common that you devote yourselves to, right? That's why I wouldn't be surprised if you see streamers dating streamers because of the fact that they know the hustle, they know the grind, and they can stream together. That's off rip. So now when you look at these, these teams, right? If you're easily distracted by women being on your team, I think honestly you're just not, like you said, you're just not for it, bro. Like like my if I remember my last ex, right? I would be playing League. She would be laying on the bed. I'm still on League. Like I'm, right?
Oh, then.
I'm so that she got mad because I was looking here. So I'm looking here, and then finally when this was over, I started looking over here. Right? I never got distracted or anything. Um, I'm good. What about you? You know, just having fun with this podcast right now. I'll be streaming League in a few minutes after the podcast. You know how we do it every Tuesday. Um, let me see. My teammate made my PP hard and I lost. I don't know. I think you'd be more concentrated if your PP was hard while you playing. I'm just saying. No, I'm playing. No. It's yeah, that's a problem. I feel my PP hard all the time. Listen. If you have a fetish for ass, just let us know. God damn it. But no, it just comes down to the fact that they probably felt it'll be best, and this is probably somebody who grew up around those type of things. Um, it may just be the fact that this coach saw it happening before, right? Nobody just outright says, "I don't want my men distracted because of a female." No, they probably saw it, was like, "Yeah, we can't have that," and then put the value on it. He probably felt that the males were more valuable at the moment than the females, right? Um, that's why I think of it. Like, here's the thing about it comes to those situations. You have to both look at it subjectively and objectively, right? You can voice your opinion, right? You can voice your opinion on things and whatnot, but then you could look at it from a different perspective and then understand what's going on. Because one of the biggest issues, especially when it comes to these kind of things, is that people don't look to understand; they look to respond. All right, and when you're looking to respond, that means anytime somebody's talking, right, you're not hearing them. You're just waiting for them to stop talking so that you can then start talking, right? And then you may end up repeating exactly what they said because of the fact that they understand you, and now you just got nowhere. So now they understand you, they're going somewhere. You don't understand them because you're just waiting for to talk. Now you're not going anywhere. So now as the conversation progresses forward, you're still there in phase one while they're in phase 10 of Marvel's Cinematic Universe. All right, that's just how it is. So definitely, I think esports is where nobody well, let me not say that because there are a lot of different people out there. But esports is where men and women, I think, have an equal playing ground, and it's completely based off who they are, not what they are, but who they are. Right? That's like, I know motherfuckers that can type faster than me. I know people that can click faster than me, and they females. Like, this is no question about it, right? But I bet you I beat them in football. I bet you I beat them in basketball. I probably kick the shit out of a soccer ball, and I play cricket sometimes in the park. Right? That's just how. Shout out to cricket in case y'all know the sport. Um, so definitely to answer your question, I think they are both on equal ground. I do feel like there should be more positive female representation about being good players, because I do want to see some, and especially like when it comes to League of Legends and stuff like that, I do want to see more streamers that are actually good rather than just they built their viewer off of because they have two double D's and a double dip, you know, and all that stuff. And again, get your bread, bro. If I was a female and I got some, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, I'd fucking do it too. You know, damn well, that's money right there. That's money, right? But no, that's just how it goes. Um, and he says, when I was in college, I was the only girl on my league's team, and the other teammates that did try to push out the females that wanted to join by being excessively aggressive about their body and shit. Let's see.
First of all, it sounds like they're just assholes.
Hold on. We just not gonna lie on the stream. She said that she could beat me in kickball. Listen. Here's the difference between you and me in kickball. Okay, when they see you coming, they still roll the ball. When they see me coming, they say, "Everybody back up." That's the difference. You must not know. But no, that's just how it is. Seems like the industry keeps women out more than anything. Oh yeah, most definitely. Here's the thing about the industry. They go based off of what is marketing. Right? They go completely based off of, hold on. I just saw some bullshit. Out of the experience I have with her in wrestling, I gotta say I bet she could beat you there too. Listen, cocaine is one hell of a drug. Y'all need to stop using it. Anyway, um, it sucks but you can't deal with toxicity. You're not. If you can't deal with toxicity, you're not gonna get fired. People are assholes. Oh yeah, no doubt, bro. When I first started streaming, I was called monkey. I was called black. N word. I can't say it on stream now, but well, I do say it on stream half the time, but not on this because it's a serious topic and shit. But I was called everything under the sun, and the one thing I told the person I was saying that was, that's fine. You can't troll me though, because I'm the biggest troll I know. So everything you're saying, I know is for the fact that you're behind a keyboard and a screen, right? That's all it is. Anything you say ain't gonna get to me because you're over there. If you had seen me face to face, you would never do that. You would never do that. And from there, they stopped responding. Hell, I still got followers that were coming into my chat doing that shit, and they still follow me to this day. To this day. How y'all doing, by the way? Anyway, but yeah, so when it comes to physicality sports and things like that, definitely, definitely big difference in it. Again, if you're gonna have transgender in sports, make it its own league. Just make it its own league. That's all it is, right? And I get it. I get it because what people would feel is that they're being excluded in male and female sports. I get it. Trust me, I understand. But you got to realize you're also messing up everybody else's opportunities because of how you perceive yourself. That's all I'm saying. Right? At least acknowledge. Like I get it. We are selfish creatures. We put our feelings ahead of others. Um, let's see. And he says, "How would you suggest verifying gender in that case? You can't. That's the whole reason why it's a slippery slope. You cannot. You can't. Right? If and I made this example earlier. If I came in, let's say, last place or second to last place in the men's division, but notice my numbers would be first in the females division, I can then shave everything and say and put on a wig and then say I'm a female now, right? And again, it has happened, right? So I'm not, but it's not happening for a majority. Okay, it's a minority that does this, not a majority. You cannot stop me from doing that. You literally cannot stop me from doing that. Because if you decide to say that I can't do it, I'm labeling you transphobic. And then I can then file a complaint. I can then do a lawsuit, things like that, right? Because nobody else can prove me wrong, right? So what they're inputting now is testosterone blockers, right? You need to be on testosterone, off testosterone. You have to be on those blockers for at least a year completely before you can compete in the other sport. Because they feel that in that year, that's when it actually takes effect. Not like I joined the sport while taking the block. No, it's take the blockers full year. Then I can do it. I mean, it's happened the other way too. Women have cross-dressed in order to prove that they are able to do certain things. Ain't that the plot of She's the Man with Amanda Bynes when she pretended to be her brother? See, I
I
knew
mean,
it. You go ahead.
I mean, that was also the plot of Mulan, though.
That is the plot of Mulan. That is. Mulan's bullshit.
Hey, she was badass though. I ain't gonna lie. I don't say she didn't have skills.
Nah, fuck that. Mulan is bullshit, dog. You know what's funny? You know, I forgot somebody said there was like this man, what's his name? Fuck, how I forget his name already. The general, the captain, what his name is?
Oh, the young one.
The young one, yeah. He started liking Ping when he thought he was a man. So I don't know. I think my boy goes both ways because he was pretty pissed to find out she was a woman. I'm just saying.
Soundtrack was fire though.
The soundtrack. When he said, "I'll make a man out of you," he really
That's
meant
still
that
my
shit. Yeah, he really meant that shit. I'll make a man out of you. The one that they ended with. The actual Mulan never revealed her gender to the military or government. Once the war was over, she went home and lived out her life as a woman. I like that.
Well, I mean, because if she did, she would have been killed. Like
Exactly.
they didn't play that shit.
She would have been killed. The family disowned. It didn't play like. Even if you were to have saved China, back in those days, they don't give
didn't
a
care.
shit.
No, you lied, you woman, you're done. Game.
To make it worse, actually, they would then dishonor your future generations for centuries, because then they have to live with the fact that a woman saved them for centuries. I know for a fact, I know Mulan was inaccurate. Trust me, I understand. But yeah, no, that, like I said, I don't think it's like, you know, that whole anything you can do, I can do better, that kind of thing. It's true. It's true. Again, women can do anything a man can do, but on a different level. That's all it is. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you told me to experience childbirth, you got another thing coming. But other than that, like, we all as humans can do human activity. It's just different levels to it. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. All right. And by acknowledging that different levels to it, you have to acknowledge that you, again, transitioning from male to female, should not be competing with other females. You can live with other females and all that, but so I got you. I'll let you know. So in conclusion, I am against it. Live your life, but don't ruin the opportunities for other people simply because of the transition. Don't do that.
Fair enough. As long as no one's getting hurt, it's fine. But people getting hurt, so now it's not fine. It's not okay.
There you go. That's all it is. All right. So
Now
guys,
by me.
that is it. I will be back on in a few minutes. Probably, let's give it about 30. That way Twitch saves it and everything like that. It's a different thing. I'll be back on in a few minutes to play some TF Toy. Alright. Make sure you guys, if anything, you could follow me. Next week we are going top 5 anime characters, suggested by Zero's Him, aka Jake. So he kind of doesn't want it to be favorites. He wants it to be, if we were to categorize all the, every character we know, who would be the top 5 in regards to greatest, development, things like that. All right, so, and everybody who knows me knows my number 1 already. So I'm just saying, especially when my shit is labeled after him. So tune in for that next week. In case you love anime, we will be having Annie online, and we could make room for one more on the discussion.
At 4, all right.
Yeah, we could do it. So if you like anime and you want to discuss it, just let me know. You can just send me a private DM on here and on Twitch, or you just go to the Instagram and whatnot. Fuck your dog shit, go players. You right. Can't get out of goal too. Damn, that sucks. Oh shit. We're gonna play some TFT and then we're gonna come back on live. Alright guys. You guys have a good one. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and make sure you love each other. There you go.
Stay safe. We love y'all.
Peace.